Hello, it's Joe. Welcome to a day in the life review of the Lenovo IDEAPAD Flex 5. Today, my day started off in the kitchen. In the kitchen, I use my devices for media consumption. The Lenovo Flex 5's claim to fame is its ability to convert into a tablet. For media consumption, I'll put it into tent mode and use its built-in touchscreen to navigate. This way, I don't have to touch the keyboard with my greasy finger then. I'm always watching YouTube, Netflix, or some other media streaming service while making breakfast. Nowadays I've been watching car camping videos on YouTube, and this channel, Tales Along the Way, has been one of my go-tos. While that's playing, I look after breakfast. Today I'm just having a cup of tea because I had a big dinner the night before. Does anyone else mix tea bags? My favorite is decaf black tea and cinnamon tea. Leave a comment and let me know what's your favorite. The Flex 5 is very capable for streaming video. It comes with Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.0. Streaming 4K is easy, and once you have a solid internet connection, there are no stutters or slowdown. It comes equipped with two 2-watt top-firing speakers, which is nice. You don't have to worry about them being muffled when it's on your lap, although in tablet mode, mistakenly covering them can be an issue. And in tent mode, they are firing away from you, so they won't sound as loud. They get loud enough, however, but they lack bass and the sound coming from them is a bit flat. Take a listen. When breakfast is done, at some point I'll head to my home office to get some work done. I'll connect it to my desk setup and use the built-in fingerprint scanner for easy login. Once set up, this fingerprint scanner is accurate and very responsive. The Flex 5 has a nice assortment of ports. On the left side, it has a power port, a HDMI 1.4B port, a USB-C 3.2 Gen 1 port that supports power delivery and data transfer, and lastly, the audio combo jack. On the right side, there are two USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, with one of them being always on for charging and whatnot, a card reader, and the power button. There's one thing I think that's missing, however. Considering that this is a convertible laptop, it would have been nice to have volume buttons on the side. Using it in tablet mode, I find myself looking for them sometimes. Every now and again, I have to go on a conference call, and we can use this 720p webcam and dual array microphone. This is a quality test of the webcam and mic on the Lenovo Flex 5. Like and subscribe. The webcam and mic are just okay and has a similar potato quality to most laptops out there. For you paranoid people out there, a nice feature that most Lenovos usually have is a camera cover, where you can use the slider to cover the webcam. The screen on the Flex 5 is a 14-inch Full HD 1080p touchscreen. It goes up to 220 nits in brightness, which is bright enough for indoor use, but not so much for using outside in the direct sun. Being a touchscreen, it is glossy and reflects absolutely everything, especially if you're in a well-lit environment. It has a color gamut of 45% NTSC. Here's a side-by-side of it with my Acer Nitro VG 280K monitor. It's a 28-inch 4K IPS panel that covers 100% sRGB. You can see that the blacks on the Flex 5 is closer to grey, and the colors are much less vibrant. I definitely wouldn't use this screen for work that requires color accuracy, but it's fine for most other things. Speaking of color accurate work, I also tested how well it performs doing video editing. I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro 2022. Testing was done with one of my previous projects. This was a 4K project with a mix of 4K and 1080p footage. I have graphics titles, lower thirds, transitions, and more popping up throughout the timeline. Scrubbing and playback was fine throughout the footage, but I would see a slowdown for a couple seconds after some graphics elements. It isn't ideal, but I could use this to put together a video if I was in a pinch. However, it would perform just fine if it was a 1080p project with 1080p footage. I decided to have lunch at a cafe today, so I threw it in my bag to head out. The Flex 5 is lightweight and compact, weighing in at 3.31 pounds. Even though it's mostly plastic except for the aluminum top lid, the chassis has very little flex and it feels well made. The power adapter is a 65-watt Type-C, and even though I wouldn't consider it as bulky, I would have liked to seen it more compact, like the one that came with my Asus ZenBook. While I'm at the cafe, I'm going to see if I can get some scripting in for a video I have coming up. While I'm doing that, let me tell you about the keyboard and trackpad. The keyboard is a chiclet style with no numpad and it's backlit with white LEDs. They are nicely spaced, which means they don't feel cramped at all, and key presses has a nice balance, with them not being mushy or clicky. LENOVO usually makes great keyboards. The multi-touch touchpad has a Mylar surface. It uses Windows Precision drivers, which means it's accurate and responsive. And for the size of the laptop, it has a good size. While I'm out and about doing web browsing or watching YouTube, the 53 watt-hour battery will last around 10 hours. This is more than enough to last all day before you're back at a plug. Battery life while gaming or doing heavy graphics work is around 2 hours. At the end of the day, after a hard day's work, there's only one thing left to do. Run some chop on a boy. Now it's the time I typically catch up on some gaming. I recently did a gaming test and a teardown and upgradability check on this laptop. Check the links in the description if you want the details. To summarize, because of the memory arrangement of the Flex 5, it not being true dual channel, and there's no way to fix this because it's soldered, it performs poorly compared to other laptops with the same CPU and Iris Xe graphics. If gaming is a big feature you can't live without, I recommend you look elsewhere or get one configured with 16GB. Those would have a true dual channel setup. The LENOVO IDEAPAD Flex 5 14 is a good laptop. It does a few things great, like the keyboard and converting into a tablet. At everything else, it's just good, and can be better if configured with the right memory. I recommend the 16GB version. You can pick one up configured like the one I reviewed for around $570, and if gaming or graphics intensive work isn't your main motive, it's still a good buy. This has been a day in the life review. Remember, if the subscribe button red, turn it black, and give the like button some slap. As always, thanks for watching.
We go forever and ever, yeah. You know that I'm much better. You wish that you can do better. No, it won't let up. We go forever and ever, yeah. I go and create the pressure, yeah. You wish that you can do better. You wish that you can do better, yeah.